Saul's fall. How a king lost everything by disobeying God. The fall of a king begins with one small disobedience. The fall of a king begins with one small disobedience. He was tall, powerful, chosen by God, Israel's first king. But behind the crown was a man whose heart slowly drifted. His fall didn't begin on the battlefield. It began in the temple, in impatience, in pride. What happens when a leader fears man more than God? Today on Orthodox Lens, we uncover the tragic rise and fall of King Saul, and how disobedience cost him everything. The Israelites no longer wanted to be ruled by prophets. "Give us a king like the nations," they cried to Samuel. Though God had always been their true king, he allowed it. Saul, tall and handsome, was chosen not because of his heart, but to reflect the people's desire. A tragic decision had just begun. God instructed Samuel to anoint Saul privately. With oil and prophecy, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Saul, transforming him. Though he appeared timid at first, even hiding at his coronation, God had chosen him. But this beginning was fragile. Would Saul follow God or lean on pride? The test of true leadership was coming. When Nahash the Ammonite threatened Israel, Saul rose to defend God's people. Empowered by the Spirit, he called the tribes together and crushed the enemy. Israel rejoiced and confirmed Saul's kingship. His leadership seemed promising, strong, courageous, and victorious. But sometimes the greatest danger to a man's soul comes after his first taste of success. As Saul waited for Samuel to offer sacrifice, his army grew restless. Impatient, he offered it himself, stepping into a priest's role. Samuel arrived and rebuked him. "You've done foolishly. Your kingdom won't last." Saul's disobedience wasn't just ritual error, it was pride against divine order. The first cracks in his spiritual crown began to show. God had once planned to establish Saul's kingdom forever. But after Gilgal, Samuel declared God had sought a man after his own heart. Saul's outward reign would continue, but his legacy ended. His future heirs were disinherited by God. A king remained on the throne, but heaven had quietly moved on to find someone better. During another battle, Saul made a reckless vow. No one should eat until the enemy was defeated. His son Jonathan, unaware, ate honey and was nearly killed. The army, weak with hunger, broke God's dietary laws. Saul's leadership brought confusion, not clarity. He valued oaths over wisdom and position over people. A dangerous path had begun. God commanded Saul, "Destroy Amalek completely, people and animals alike." But Saul spared King Agag and kept the best livestock. He claimed it was for sacrifice, but it was disobedience masked as religion. Saul feared people more than God. Once again, he did what seemed logical rather than faithful. His partial obedience led to complete rejection. Samuel confronted Saul. "Why didn't you obey?" Saul deflected, blamed others, and claimed religious intentions. But God was not fooled. "To obey is better than sacrifice," Samuel thundered. Saul lost his final chance. His heart loved the throne more than God. From that moment, God's Spirit left him, and the kingdom passed silently to another. Samuel loved Saul, but now the prophet wept. God told him, "Do not mourn. I have rejected him." The break was final. Saul still ruled in the eyes of men, but not in the eyes of heaven. Samuel never saw him again. The king had failed, and now God would raise a new leader in secret. While Saul reigned publicly, God sent Samuel to Bethlehem. There, a young shepherd boy named David was anointed in secret. He was the youngest, forgotten even by his father, but chosen by God. The spirit that once filled Saul now rested on David. The kingdom's future had already shifted, though Saul still wore the crown. With the Spirit of God gone, Saul was tormented by an evil spirit. Darkness filled the space where light once lived. His servants brought David to play music and calm him. Ironically, the one who soothed him was the one chosen to replace him. Saul's downfall was no longer political, it was spiritual, emotional, and deep. David defeated Goliath, and Israel sang, "Saul has slain thousands, David 10,000s." Rage consumed Saul. He hurled spears, plotted murder, and chased David for years. His jealousy turned to obsession. Saul couldn't accept God's plan. Instead of repenting, he resisted. His hatred of David became the tragic mirror of his own lost calling. Desperate for guidance before battle, Saul sought a medium, a practice forbidden by God, he disguised himself and visited the Witch of Endor. There, Samuel appeared and declared Saul's doom. "Tomorrow, you and your sons will be with me." The king once anointed now sought the dead. His disobedience had become spiritual destruction. The Philistines advanced. Saul's sons were slain. Wounded and surrounded, he fell on his sword to avoid capture. His armor-bearer followed. The king who once united Israel died in defeat and disgrace. His body was mocked and displayed by enemies. Saul's fall was complete, not because of weakness, but because of rebellion. Saul's story warns us, being chosen by God doesn't guarantee success. Obedience does. He had the crown, the calling, and the support. But he lost everything because he honored himself above God. In Saul, we see what happens when pride replaces repentance and when position matters more than obedience. May we learn and walk humbly. Saul wore the crown, but lost the kingdom. His life reminds us that being chosen isn't the end, obeying is. Pride, fear, and half-hearted faith turned anointed leadership into a cautionary tale. A crown is not enough. The warning of Saul wore the crown, but lost the kingdom. His life reminds us that being chosen isn't the end, obeying is. Pride, fear, and half-hearted faith turned anointed leadership into a cautionary tale. Let his fall be your warning, and David's rise be your hope. Let his fall be your warning, and David's rise be your hope. This is Orthodox Lens, where every Bible story comes alive through the light of the Oriental Orthodox tradition. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the ring button so you never miss stories that awaken your soul. Welcome to Orthodox Lens, where Bible stories come alive through the Oriental Orthodox tradition. We're here to inspire you and share insights that resonate with your soul. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Hit that ring button so you're always updated with stories that awaken your spirit. You won't want to miss it.